Testing gin and tonic on the 31st of December 21.
Nice. Right, we're going to talk about houses. So what's the first house you ever lived in?
And the first house I lived in was 51 Norfolk Drive on the Glen Road in Belfast. It was
What was it like?
Well, compared to the house I live in now,
No,
it was pokey. It was terrible. It was a small house, 3-bedroom house, but one of the bedrooms was a box room, and I literally mean, if you lay from head to toe, there was a single bed in it, and nothing else.
Jesus.
That was the box room. My brother Paul slept in that room. Paddy, Jared, and I, when they were there, slept in one room. The Reto slept.
With Paddy?
No, the Reto slept in it. I don't know where the Reto can say. I think the Reto slept in with us until Jared and Paul went off to boarding school. Then the Reto had a room of her own, and then my father converted the attic into a bedroom. But it wasn't very well done. He put a staircase up into it, and he didn't insulate it or anything. So in the middle of winter, there was ice inside the window. It was freezing. And the summer, it was roasting.
Was it expensive to have kids in boarding school?
Well, my father didn't pay for it. My Uncle Frank paid for all that.
Why? He had no kids himself?
He had no kids himself, and I don't suppose he had anything else to spend his money on.
Is that the guy the guy who built the hospital?
Yeah, that was Frank Donnelly. Frank Donnelly, Frank Donnelly and two other men.
That's Anne's uncle.
Frank Donnelly was my mother's brother, and then two other men with him. One was a fella called Joe Kavanagh. He was a pawnbroker, and the other fella was Louise's uncle.
Louise?
Yeah.
Montgomery? Yeah.
Her uncle, Dee's husband.
Her uncle-in-law?
No, her uncle.
Wow.
He was Paddy. Oh no, what was his name? Pause a second. Oh, he can't pause. He was. I'll think of his name in a minute.
Yeah.
And they got together and they formed a thing called the YP Pools, the Young Philanthropists.
Jesus.
And they went round. They went round Northern Ireland with little brown envelopes, and they put one on every door to build a Catholic hospital in Belfast. Now, Joe Kavanagh built. I have to find out his name.
Why would they build a Catholic hospital?
Because there wasn't a Catholic hospital in Belfast.
You had to be Catholic.
Louise, what was Dee's husband's name? Paddy what? Paddy MacDonald. Paddy MacDonald was the third, who was Louise's uncle. Isn't that a coincidence?
That is a mad coincidence.
And he...
Long before you met him?
Oh yeah, I wasn't even born when they started doing that.
Jesus, man.
And then they collected money and they built the Mater Hospital in Belfast. And that was it was the only Catholic hospital. It was the only other two hospitals in Belfast was the Royal Victoria and the City Hospital.
And they wouldn't treat you well if you...
Oh well, they would treat it, but there was the Mater Hospital was run by nuns,
Right.
the Sisters of Charity.
Yeah.
Unlike my aunt, who was a daughter of charity, they were the French Order of St. Vincent de Paul.
Oh.
Now
They were more kinky, were they?
Kinky nuns, I think not. They might have had a few dirty habits, all right, but they're
Hey, all right.
And so Frank, when Frank died, and all those men had gone, Dimpna Elwood, who was my cousin, an American, was married to a fella called Peter Kern, who was a psychiatrist, and he researched all this, and he found all these old bank accounts and trust funds, and he built the new wing onto the Mater Hospital.
There was money hanging around.
That was not been used, and he built the new. So when my my godmother Patsy McAviney was dying, she was in the Mater Hospital.
She was your mum's sister.
My mother's sister, and she was married to Jerry McAviney, who was a doctor.
Oh.
And I went up to see her when she was dying, and I went into the ward and I said to the nurse, "How is she?" And she says, oh, she's very confused. She keeps telling everybody her brother built this hospital. And I said, her brother did build the hospital. And if you go down that corridor, there's a plaque to say he did it. And she said, I've worked in this hospital for 20 years and never noticed that plaque. So that's how they built, that's how they built the Royal Victoria Hospital, the Mater Hospital in Belfast.
Is that related to the Mater Hospital in Dublin then?
It probably was, yeah. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
What does matter? Where does that come from? Matter?
I think it's Greek or it's Latin or something. Matri or something like that.
Oh, like matriarch.
Yeah,
Mother Mary made matter.
Mother Mary, come to me. Like in the beat.
Right, yeah. So Norfolk Drive, right. Next house you lived in
was
Maynooth. We hit that on another episode.
Well, yeah.
So what was the next house you owned?
Well, we bought in the next house I owned.
Or you lived in like
in down in Greenlawns, not Greenlawns.
Shennick.
No, the other one down behind the cemetery. Where
Irish guys lived.
yeah.
Oh, gee, it begins with C, right?
No, it doesn't. I'll think of it in a minute.
Gee, we're shy of this.
We lived in my father.
Churchfield.
Churchfield. My father bought a house in there. There was a second one in, and
so
then
when you go in, it was on the right.
it was on the left. Second one on the
next
left.
door to Dempsey's.
No, just the second one in. When you drive in, there was one owned by Justices,
Oh yeah.
and the next one to that. And then the next house I lived in was in Shinnick
How long
Grove.
did you live in Churchfield for?
Well, I didn't really live there. I just came back and forward to it from
And
Maynooth.
they were brand new houses. Then,
Brand new
They
houses,
were
yeah.
lovely brand new houses.
Yeah. Well, they were good houses. Shinnick houses were the best houses.
Were they?
Yeah, Shinnick houses are still the best houses in Skerry.
Why?
Best built houses in Skerries.
Why is that?
Were well built. They were better built than the ones next door.
So what? Just well insulated.
Well insulated, well built. The town parks houses were not well built.
What, like problems with water and windows?
No, they were badly built. No insulation, bad heating, bad windows. But they were a 4-bedroom detached house, and it was a sort of a prestige thing to get a house in town parks.
It was in town park.
Oh yeah. We moved up from Key Street to town parks.
And so you lived in Shennick in
And
a
then-
3-bedroom house, right?
It was a 3-bedroom house with a garage, and then the next house I lived in was next door, number 9, because my mother went to live in Shinnick and I came up to live up here.
And what was number 9 like when you moved in?
It was all right, but the heating, we had to change the heating eventually. We had to change the windows. We had to decorate.
You were burning 2 fires, right? When you went in.
Oh no, we put
Fire in the front.
yeah,
and
fire in the
back.
back. No, we put that fire in the back.
What is it? And you had a special thing you could push at the back that heated the water, right?
Oh, that's called a damper. But I
that
don't.
was-
No, we didn't have that in
There was
next.
something that you used to push in there. I can't remember.
Oh, that was in. No, I don't think we had that. Maybe we
In
did.
the back room, there was something that Mum would push, and it would heat the water.
Maybe it. Oh, there might have been a circulating pump in that. All right, yeah.
So what was that? Just heated up some metal or something?
It heated the heat went up into the tank, and they heated the coil in the tank, and the tank made. And then the next house I lived in is this one here. We're living here about
So
12 years.
you were in 9 town parks for how long?
Oh, 10, 15 years, maybe more, 20 years.
I was definitely 21.
25.
I lived there for 22 years.
Well, then it was 30 years nearly.
30 years. And when was the first time you thought about building this house? Tell us about this house. What's the story of this house?
Well, you see, this plan was to build this house and sell that one. And we started out to sell that one for 850,000. And we ended up getting less than 400,000 for it.
Jesus, why?
Because the recession hit.
Okay, but you're sitting next door in 2001 or something like that, 7 years before you built it. When was the first time you thought about building this house? Did you own the garden?
Well, I owned the land and I owned the utilities, and I applied for planning permission, and we had no problem getting the planning permission.
And wasn't there something like...
But we still have a bit of a problem with the corner up here that is the county council haven't given us yet, so it's not in the deeds, but we applied to get it. But now that we're living here over 12, 13 years, they can't really refuse it. We could claim squatters' rights on it.
Yeah.
So
And like, wasn't
it's the
there
plan. The application's in with the county council at the moment, but it's been there about 6 years. They just haven't got around to doing it.
Wasn't there something like... So originally this was just a bit on the edge of your land, and then you built a wall around it first. Was that,
Yeah.
that was the first step to claiming it, is it?
Well, it was. We built the wall within the boundary, so we could do what we liked. But we couldn't. We could only build the wall a certain height. Because Earl Sullivan across the road objected.
Yeah.
Now he's a miserable old devil living on his own.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
Tell us about building the house. How did you plan it? And
well, Louise would say she planned it all, but I would consider it a joint effort. And Paddy Russell was. We employed Grimes, the architect, to design it. He was useless, but he was absolutely useless. He put plans in them, he changed them. We went with our plans rather than his. And I used to, every so often we paid him a heap of money, and I used to say, Louise, I don't know what we're paying this fellow money for. We did all the work, but we had to do it because he was good at getting planning permission.
oh, he knew that he had a connection.
He had a connection for planning permission.
And were you always going to do the house at the back, the Muse?
Um,
It's a small
I think that was going to be a garage, and then when we decided to put the geothermal heating in, we decided to put it up there, so we upgraded that a bit, and we got the kitchen and the cheap from Tierney's because there was a leftover piece.
The whole, up the top.
Yeah, it was an end job so that's why we put the kitchen part of it in, which is full of stuff up there. One of these days I'm going to get a big skip and throw everything out of it.
What does geothermal mean?
It comes from the ground, from the earth. The water is pumped down into the earth's core. It heats and comes back up again.
Wow, and you don't have to pay anything for that?
Oh, you do. You have to pay for it. Our electricity bill would be high here, but it wouldn't.
Because it pumps.
Yeah, well, electricity's gone up a lot now, but it would be cheaper than oil and gas. And
is it true that it pumps it down, it heats it up to about 25 degrees?
No.
Electricity does the rest of the work.
No, it pumps. It goes down. It goes back up at 11 degrees, and the first 10 degrees are the hardest to heat. And then you from 11 up to what it is at the moment, 22, would be heated. But as it's a sealed unit and continually circulating, it never goes cold, so it doesn't take a lot to heat it up.
And could you supplement that power with some solar panels on the roof?
I'm thinking about that, putting solar panels in to run the unit. But I don't know how much that would cost. I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, it's a conversation for another day, but actually what would happen is you would generate electricity and it would come off your bill.
Yeah.
It goes back into network. It wouldn't necessarily run your unit. So if there was a power out, you wouldn't have any power because there's no power on the grid.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Alright, so are you happy with the house? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you want to sell it? I'll give you
No.
a flogger.
No. I'll never sell it.
You keep it. You might as well. It's a nice house.
People say downsize and do. I'm not downsizing. Your mother has one room, I have the other. It's a perfect relationship. We never meet. No, I wouldn't sell it. I'd put too much into it and I've had it too long. And anyway, I have no intention of selling. Where would I go?
So what would you do differently, or what's your favorite part of the house? What's your favorite room in the house?
The bedroom.
Yeah, why?
Because you have the view and you can.
That's where the magic happens.
You can look out when you open the morning. You can see Ardgillan and you can see the railway line. You can see. I like this place we have now, out the back. The decking. What was decking? It was terrible when we had it. Now it's nice, and it was nice in the summer when Fred and Megan and all were here, and the weather was really good, and we were out there at night with the barbecue, and it was really lovely.
And how much did the whole house cost you?
Oh, I'd say it cost a total of about 490,000 to build,
really well.
building furniture.
And the furnishing you guys went all out on, right? You went big.
Well,
The house itself was about 2, right?
We didn't take anything from the other house. Do you remember the big table? Sean Leonard took all that.
Did he?
Yeah, Shawnee took all the furniture.
Oh wow.
And we didn't keep. We put all new furniture, new TVs, everything into the house. We didn't do anything. That's all bought and paid for now, so we can.
And
Now
are
this.
you still paying the mortgage?
No, this room here is going to be done in the spring. We're going to repaint
That's
this,
the living room, yeah.
but you can't paint this room in the winter.
When did you finish paying the mortgage?
No, last year.
Cool.
Yeah, we don't owe anything on it.
10 years longer than you planned.
Well,
because of the crisis. But you finished. I didn't know you finished paying the mortgage.
yeah. Don't be getting any ideas now
What?
that you could cash in on that.
No, I think I'm the only one of your children that thinks you should keep this house.
Megan thinks we should keep it.
Yeah, it's only because she wants to move into it.
I don't know that when we'll go. That's enough for another day.
No, I think Megan and Connor.
No, what I'd like to do with it now is, first thing I'd like to get rid of is all those blinds. I hate them.
There's no reason to have blinds on there.
No, there's none really because we never use them. We never close them.
But sure, you could just pull them up.
The only thing is, in the summer,
Pull them up.
the sun shines in this room a lot, but you just can't. Well, you pull them up; they're bulky and there's strings hanging off them. And what else would I like to do? I would like to, not really very much. No, I'd like to change. I'd like to change all the main bedroom, all that.
Your bedroom?
Yeah, I want to take.
It's like a turquoise, right?
It's called duck egg. And I'd like to take all the curtains and the bedding and change it different, but she doesn't want to do that.
It's a good bed job, though.
Yeah, the bed's good, but might need to get. But you should change the mattress every 10 years, so we might buy a new mattress. But a mattress for that bed would cost
A couple of grand.
$2,000 or $3,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And are you thinking about extending the shed at the mews at the back for
No.
Megan, maybe?
no, I don't think that would work.
Originally, you had planned to build 2 houses here, right?
Yeah, we were going to build. It was an idea, but it wouldn't have worked. Sure, where would you have put entrances? And you couldn't go onto the main road, and you couldn't. No, that would have been too much like hard work.
So you don't have any interest in moving anywhere else? You'll die
No.
in this house?
Maybe Sanary, move to somewhere like the south of France, but that's a really an impractical thing to think, because when you get older and you move to the south of France, what do you do if you get sick? Or what do you do about insurance and medical insurance? And what if one of you died and the other one would be left?
Yeah.
So it's a dream, it's a fantasy dream. I would never, even if I won the lotto, I wouldn't buy a house in the south of France. I'd rent one every year for about 6 months a year, because they're only a liability. They're France is a very difficult place to own a house. Pat Grimes had one, and they had nothing but trouble. There's all to do with taxes and local taxes, and then you have to maintain them, and if anything happens you're not there, and you have to get depend on other people to go in and do things with it.
Right, so you'll die in this house. Good.
Well, not tonight anyway. Not tomorrow, I hope.
I don't know what the next episode will be. That's number 8.
All right.
10.
We'll do 2 tomorrow before you leave. I'm going horse. Everybody's got throats, and see,